What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. I have a question for all the, I guess you would say, I'm going to call them Black Americans. Not black people, not African Americans, Black Americans. The ones that specifically like to call themselves Black Americans. Right? Which I can't find anybody out here in the real world that call themselves Black American. They'll say Black, or they'll say African American. But my question is, and this is an honest question, because I know there's still a whole bunch of you guys watching me. And I just, for the life of me, don't understand when I'm over here minding my Pan-African business, talking to my Black Pan-African folks, why is it that you guys come over to my channel and try to convince me and all the subscribers that we are not African? And you guys, some of you guys, I'm putting all you guys in the category. I'm putting FBA, ADOS, pretendians, and the Black America. Yeah, I'm putting all y'all in the same category. And you know what I realized about you Black Americans? The ones that hate the ones that really hate the whole idea of Pan-Africanism, the ones that hate the fact that there are African Americans talking about Africa all the time, the ones that hate the fact that there's African Americans fellowshipping with Africans, the ones that got whole YouTube channels dedicated to judging, critiquing, and punching down on anybody that's pro-Black or Pan-African. I'm talking about the ones that come on YouTube, do live shows every day. Guys, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know every day, 2-3 hours like y'all got no job. All right, 2-3 hours, sometimes 6, 7, 8, 9 hours with a group of people that gather together and get mad at Pan-Africans doing their own Pan-African thing over here, minding their own Pan-African business, not even pointing or directing any of their energy towards them. I don't understand it. I don't understand why pretendians constantly come in us Black Pan-African channels to tell us, you not African. You not, like, and that's all they say, you not African. That's the length. That is the length of their knowledge. You not African, because your grandmama, who had a 6th grade, 8th grade education, told you that she had Indian in her family. And that's all the information that you need to come up with a decision that you are not Black. You can forego all the history. You can forego all the archaeological evidence, all the recent historical evidence, all the receipts that the government, the United Kingdom government has, all the physical evidence, all the eyewitness testimony, all the books from every different perspective, from the Native American perspective, from the African perspective, from the European perspective, from the Asian, from the Japanese and Chinese observers' perspective who observed the transatlantic slave trade, from the Indians who observed the transatlantic slave trade, who were subsequently brought in to be quote unquote indentured servants / slaves after African slavery became illegal. Like, you can forego the vast amount of history, right? You forgo all that, right? Because your grandmama, who had a 6th grade education, saying she had Indian in her family because her hair was straight a little bit, because she didn't need to put perm in there, right? Because she didn't want to admit that her granddaddy, or her granddaddy was a white man that raped her mom, grandmama, right? Now I understand the trauma of being a product of European grape on our people, right? I don't acknowledge the European sodomy. Just like there's a lot of people who are born who are products of grape, right? And a lot of them don't acknowledge the graping side, right? I don't acknowledge the European side because it wasn't voluntary, right? I don't acknowledge that. Plus, it's very small. I don't acknowledge it. I understand it, right? But that doesn't mean I run away from who I am, right? And it's like, hey, look, as a Pan-African, I don't have time to convince a Black American who the whole term Black American, right, was invented just recently in order to disconnect Black people from Africa, right? They want you to be American. See, white people love you being American when it suits them. But as soon as everybody leave, then you're back to being a you know what you are, right? You know what you are. You're not really a part of the club, but you can come in, right? Sit in the lobby, but you can't really go into the ballroom type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And the shame, like, I get secondhand embarrassment when they come in my comment section. Secondhand embarrassment. I'm like, man, I hope no white folks or no Spanish folks are watching this. This is embarrassing, watching all these clearly West Africans calling themselves Native Americans. And peep this. This is how stupid they are, right? And before I say this, I want to acknowledge there are a very small, minute group of African Americans that do have Indian ancestry. They do, right? They legitimately do. And guess what? Here's the funny part. Mine didn't show up on my DNA results because a lot of that won't show up because it's so recent, and sometimes it doesn't show everything. But I also, have Indian. I have an aunt who looks like a Indian, right? And she's my father's sister. And the whole story over there is that my grandmama was a Native American. And when I look at my grandma, right? She looked like she could pass as a Native American. She can also pass as an Arab. She could pass as a Latino. She could pass as a Samoan woman. As I can pass as a Samoan person, which people thought I was Samoan when I was fat. I can pass as a Spanish person because everywhere I go, people just start speaking Spanish to me like I'm Cuban, Dominican, or something like that. I also can pass as an Asian because when I was in Asia, they thought I was Cambodian. No bullshit. They thought I was 100% Cambodian. The Cambodians thought I was Cambodian, right? But then when I go to Africa, they know I'm Igbo. Okay? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, because they know, right? But they come in my comment section and try to convince me I'm not black. And I'm like, and the thing is, I know they know they're black. You know they know they black. They have to, I think they come into the channel and they come to our pro-black Pan-African channels because they're trying to convince themselves that they're not black. They know they're black. Because I don't have to sit here and constantly call myself black. Now look at me. I'm yellow, red. So you don't think my blackness has been questioned my entire life? You don't think my blackness has been questioned my entire life? Even though I know I'm black. Both my parents black. But I can easily be misconstrued as a mulatto, as everything else but black, or black and, right? But that doesn't hurt my self-esteem because I know. When you know who you are, nobody can tell you, who you are. When you know. Once you know, that's it. Die is cast. It's set in stone, right? But one thing I've noticed about the black Americans, now listen to this. The black Americans, the majority of the black Americans who they spend a lot of time on Twitter, on all these spaces where they don't show their face, but some of them are brave enough to show their face. Have you noticed that the majority of the black Americans who hate Africans for whatever reason, they like to talk shit and they're so emotionally immature that they can justify their xenophobia based off another African's idiotic xenophobia. Like that's all they need as full-grown adults to justify their continuous xenophobia towards other groups is they got their feelings hurt one day, and because they're not mature emotionally, they couldn't handle it, so they're traumatized for their whole life that all these people are against them because they got their feelings hurt when they was a teenager, when they was in elementary school. That's who we're dealing with. If you notice, they're all, for the most part, high yellow mixed people who barely pass the black test. Have you noticed that? Like the kind who are they're racially ambiguous. Racially ambiguous. Have you noticed? Your Yvette Carnels, your Mike TVs. Look at that Mike TV. I had to look at that dude several times. I'm like, is that guy bad? And I'm light skinned, right? So I should be able to recognize another light skin, and I should be tuned into that. But even I was like, why is there a Mexican talking shit about black people? Huh? I'm looking at it. I thought, oh shit, I think he black. I had to like Google him and like see other people. Oh yeah, he black. He got them he one of them freckle light skin ass motherfuckers, huh? Right? And so I noticed it's a theme, it's a common theme. Is the mixed people, they have identity issues. Mixed people in America have identity issues. They already, off the break, they know they're not going to be a part of the white community. Off the break, right? So they don't even try. You notice, the mixed people, they don't even try to be a part of the white community. It's automatic. You not invited. You not welcome. You not one of us, period, right? So the only thing they even by default look at is the black community, right? And then, of course, them being light-skinned, which I have experienced this. So I have a little bit of, knowledge on the issue, is sometimes they get made fun of for not being black enough. Keep in mind, in America, you can get made fun of for being too black, and you can get made fun of for being not black enough. The only ones who don't get made fun of are the ones in the middle, who they not quite too black, but they black enough, right? And that's that colorism shit that we have, that we don't actually deal with in this country. And because black people don't deal with our internal colorism, we ignore it, right? We talk about it sometimes, but we don't really tackle it because we really ignore it. We're suffering the consequences of ignoring a group of people who've been disenfranchised by what they perceive as the one group that's supposed to embrace them. So because the one group that's supposed to embrace them, the black side, as far as they're concerned, their feelings get hurt when black people don't embrace them fully, right? The African American, the ones that are clearly black, right? They don't get that full, they feel like they ain't getting the full participation, card. They're not really in there. Now, that's really just in their heads because they're mad because they've been called light-skinned names, right? Even though I'm pretty sure those same light-skinned people also call dark-skinned people people names, right? But they don't take that in consideration because they're emotionally unintelligent and they're immature. So they can't handle social norms, they can't handle this shit, right? And they're mostly incels. They don't do this shit out in the real world. These light-skinned black Americans don't go outside and act like this in the real world. They don't, right? But on the internet, behind their computers, they're brave, right? And they finally get to say what they've been wanting to say their whole life. And they can get paid for it because YouTube will push, the agenda of divide and conquer in the black community, right? But since the light-skinned, mulatto, mixed people, they got all sorts of new names now. They call themselves ADOS, right? Because they need and feel that blackness, but they feel a detachment from Africa all the way because they don't feel like they got the full card, right? And they really don't like people who are African Americans, who are black, who know they black. They don't like them hanging out with them Africans. You know why they don't like them hanging out with them Africans? Because they want to hang out with them. Them light-skinned mixed mulattoes feel like they can't hang out with the Africans. Because those mixed light-skinned mulattoes still listen to the white side of their family who told them Africans ain't shit. Africans live in mud huts. Oh, Africans got AIDS. Africans don't like black people. Guess who told African Americans that Africans don't like them? White people. Guess who told Africans that African Americans don't like them? White people. Let me say that again. Guess who told Africans that African Americans don't like them? White people. Guess who told African Americans that Africans don't like them? White people. Now you know why they said it. Divide and conquer. All right? Now, these mixed mulattoes, half their family are white people. And they have to listen to these white people. They got to deal with this mixed mulatto. They got the nerve to exist sitting at their table, right? Making it so them white people can have their regular white people conversations. Because here comes this goddamn mulatto. We got to be careful around this one. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to complain and tell him, don't be like them other ones. Huh? Don't be like, let me tell you about your people, since now that you are a mixed mulatto black person sitting at their white dinner table, they now can punch down on you. You're their personal punching bag for white and black relations. So these mixed people grow up in houses where they're conflicted with their parents that hate half of them, right? Look down on half of them, right? And in the other half that they desperately want to be a part of, make fun of them for being half white. fuck their head up, right? I literally know mixed people who go through these. Mixed people, they go through this shit. They go through that shit, right? The Arabs went through it too. Look at them. What do you think the Arabs are? They ain't nothing but mixed black, white, and Asian. What are Latinos? White, black, and Native American. Native Americans are Asians who made it over here. White, black, Asian. That's the only combination in the world. All this exotic. No, it's just 3 groups of people on this planet. Black people, Asian people, and white people. That's it. You can call them Arabs. You can call them Latinos because they speak in the European Spanish language. You can call them mixed mulatto because they speak in English in America. It's the same shit. And if you notice, these group of people always cause problems at some point. Arabs, look at that. Look at that. Huh? Mixed mulattoes here, look at that. They're always the one tools being used, you know, to hurt other groups. Always. You can look it up. And right now, because we ignore colorism within our community, because white people need an ally. They see the black people who they love, worship, and need to survive looking at Africa. So what do they got left? All white people got left is the mixed mulattoes they made. Right? So we're gonna hold on to them at least. You know white folks can't live without us. You know they can't fucking live without us. They talk all that shit, but they do not want to live. Look, they don't want to live in a world where we are not there contributing to them. Trust me. Because you take us out the picture, life is boring. And it sucks. Alright, they know it. No fucking chicken ain't cooked all the way. Ain't no seasoning and nothing. You know what I'm saying? People dying of diseases. And if you leave white people to their own devices, they're gonna kill each other. I'm telling you right now. Look at countries where it's just all white folks and look how they treat each other. It's crazy. Alright? It's crazy. They need us. Alright, they need us. They need this. Alright, that's just what it is. But the white people are holding on to their mulattoes because that's the best they can do. They shit where the way they look at it, it's half of them. They can have that. That's how they see it. They're like, well, shit, you're an American. You're a black American. Yeah, you're a black American. You're not African. You're a black American. That's what you are, right? Taking on the identity of the ideology of white people. You see, white people, they the ones who gave up Europe. They the ones who gave up their motherland. They the ones who fought and warred against their motherland to leave their motherland. We didn't do that. We didn't go. The African diaspora didn't fight a war with their continent, except for Liberia. We did do that. That did happen. All right, we did have a little thing over there where the African Americans fought the Native Africans to stop slavery. That was continue on in that particular area of Liberia. But besides that, there's no massive war to separate ourselves from Africa. Europeans literally killed millions of themselves in order to separate themselves from their own motherland. So they don't give a shit about Europe. They like F the motherland, right? F it. That's not how we are. But these black Americans are taking on that ideology. F Africa. Yeah, they sold us from slavery. Doing the same thing. Yeah, we Americans over here because our homelands didn't want us. Our homelands did this. No. That's not what happened. Right? And these black Americans give a pass to the white people who paid for, financed, and conducted the transatlantic slave trade. But they only get mad at the 1 or 2 or 3 individual coon chiefs that unbeknownstly threw not their people, but other people, all right? Other people that weren't their people into the transatlantic slave trade. Based off their comprehension of what slavery was at the time. They had no idea that white slavery was totally different from African slavery. And by the time they figured it out, it was too late. You see, people don't know their history. They don't know their history at all. That's why they're stupid. And they come online saying stupid stuff like we're Indians. Hey, look, if you say you're an Indian, what you're saying is you're part of the one group, one of the very few groups who got completely, totally dominated by the Europeans with no potential of recovery. If you're saying that you are a Native American, if you're saying that you're some sort of made up Aboriginal American, you are the biggest group of failures on this planet. If that's true. Because that means they destroyed every semblance of your existence completely. That shit didn't even happen to the Tasmanians, and they've been extinct. The Europeans made a whole group of people extinct, and we at least know the history of those people. We at least know the language they spoke. We at least know the structures they built. We don't know shit about you Aboriginal Black Americans. That's how defeated you guys are. If you were to be these group of people, and the Native Americans never even heard of you guys. So you guys must have been real small and insignificant if none of the tribes, Native American, Asiatic tribes, heard of you guys, seen you guys, or anything, right? And here's a big one, guys. When the white people came to America, they thought they were in India. When they saw those brown people, you know, because you may not know this, but in India, the people are actually dark-skinned like Africans. The ones you see on TV are white people, all right? Those are white people, right? Or Indians who hate themselves and love white skin, just like various other places, right? But in India, the people are black, like Africans, right? But they're Asian, they're Indian, right? They're black. When the white people went to went to America, they thought they was in India, right? With people who look like Indians, who got black skin like Africans, right? If they went to America and saw Africans, they would have thought they was in Africa. Hence, the people would have been called African, because there is no incentive to hide the identity of the people you are subjugating and enslaving. You think, what incentive did white people have to make a whole group of people believe they're another group of people? And how stupid were your ancestors to forget who they are because a white man beat them and told them that they are not who they are after supposed hundreds of years of culture that you guys say you have over here in North America as the Aboriginals? I'm just trying to figure it out. How weak were your ancestors then? I don't want to be part of that shit. Y'all can have that weak ass shit. I'm African. Despite the shit the white people did to us, we still standing. We still here. And we're gonna dominate. So I'm like, as a Pan-African, I'm doing my thing over here, right? As a person who knows that he's black from Africa, a great and rich historical group of people. The true aboriginals of the planet. I don't want to be an aboriginal of North America. That's the small potatoes. I'm an aboriginal of the planet. You understand? Planet. You are a pretend aboriginal of the North America, who are so weak that your entire existence has been disintegrated. And you're trying to convince people that that's who you are. You go right the fuck ahead. Go right ahead, right? And you abos, you light-skinned mulattoes who feel like you can't really connect with Africa, you guys are so stupid, you don't even realize that you guys can fully connect with the Africans. The Africans will embrace you, just like you're an African. All you have to do is be an African who's proud to be an African. That's it. Huh? Now, I understand that you don't follow the concept as that African is an African no matter where African is. I understand that. You feel like the geographical location that you're in defines who you are. That's fine. If that's how you want to identify, that's a white way of thinking. You go right ahead. You go right ahead. But keep in mind, them white people that you want to identify with ideologies, they also pretend to be them same Native Americans in America. The rich ones, those are white people pretending to be Native Americans. But at least they actually benefit from the shit. Right? You got white people pretending to be Jews in Israel, and they're committing genocide. You got white people pretending to be South Africans, and they committed genocide and apartheid. You got white people pretending to be Australians, and they commit genocide. White people pretend all the time to be things that they're not. They pick up everybody's religion. They all of a sudden they're all Buddhist, they're all Hindu and shit. They do an unify. They do everything but white people shit. White people don't want to be white. They want to be white plus something. Jews are just white people who don't want to be called white. For the most part, nobody wants to be called white. It's like there's nothing inherently beneficial as far as they're concerned to be called white. They're not running towards whiteness. Everybody else is running toward whiteness. They're trying to be as dark as possible. This shit's world's fucking crazy. But look, you self-loathing African people, look, if you want to be if y'all want to watch us Africans be African and be happy being African and talking about African things, you're more than welcome, because you are in fact an African, right? But as soon as you come in my comment section, I'm gonna let you have like 3 or 4 comments, right? Because I swear I was talking to some last night. I'm gonna let you have like 3 or 4 freaking comments where we go back and forth. But once I realize your level of ignorance is impossible to break through, I'm just gonna block you immediately. You're not gonna be able to enjoy my channel unless you make another YouTube channel, because I'm gonna block you, because you guys are embarrassment and you guys are ridiculous. You pretendians, right? You weird light-skinned FBAs and all them you dumbass truck driver FBAs who don't know shit. Y'all be about the stupidest. I swear, if you want to find some stupid black people Go on YouTube and look at some of these panels. They be but the loudest, stupidest, dumbest, most ignorant, embarrassing ass Negroes in America. Like, legitimately. Oh my God. It was funny at first. Now the shit not even funny anymore. They just stupid, right? You know, he finally got an opportunity to talk. Somebody finally let their ass talk, right? And they just running their fucking dumb, ignorant, stupid ass mouth. But yeah. But anyway, I'm going to keep doing my Pan-African thing because I know who I am with all the other black Pan-Africans who know who they are. And we're going to keep enjoying this rise, right? And the rest of you guys, you can watch. You can participate. But as soon as you say some weird shit, you guys are done. Because we don't need you. We don't need no black Americans. I'm African American. African Americans don't need you delineating black Americans at all for Africa to rise. We don't need you. You're not necessary. You sit right in the fans with your white friends. All right? You pretendians, one of these days you're going to wake the fuck up and look in that mirror and you're going to clean that shit, right? And really look at that shit and realize who the hell you are. And then you're more than welcome to come back over here to the fold, all right? But I'm just letting y'all know that we're all laughing at you guys, all right? No one's laughing with you. We're all laughing at you because you're all pathetic, right? And you got a lot to learn. You have a lot to learn. And there's no excuse in the age of information for this amount of black Americans, FBA, ADOS, pretendians to be this ignorant, this lacking in knowledge, this xenophobic, and this emotionally unhinged and uncouth and immature. Y'all got a lot of growing to do. A lot. Anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think about this in the comment section. Just Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach something. I'm out.